Hello, everyone. Yesterday we covered part 1 of supply in the book The Infinite Way. I concluded my talk yesterday with a quote from John Randolph Price. "My consciousness of God as my supply is my supply." This is what real supply is. No matter what the outside world may say to you, as long as you keep your attention on God as your supply, go into meditation and a time of quiet, and bring that message into your being, that is where your true supply rests. In part 2 of Supply, Goldsmith writes, "Part of the belief of human existence is that you're under the influence of what is happening either economically or health-wise in the world around you. What we have to do is keep ourselves free of this thinking, which keeps us locked into this earth plane, this physical realm. First, we have to live on a higher plane of consciousness. We must train ourselves to know that anything that exists in the realm of effect is not cause, is not creative, and has no power over us. This brings up the important point in spiritual wisdom that I am the law unto myself. I am the truth unto myself. I am life eternal. Since I am infinite consciousness, and since I am the law unto myself, then nothing in the external world can act upon me and be a law unto me. There is nothing from which we can ever suffer but the acceptance of illusion as reality. These things called lack and disease are not what we are suffering from. They're just the forms of error consciousness. Regardless of the name we use, it's a suggestion, an illusion, appearing as a person, place, or thing, appearing as lack, limitation, disease, fear, and so much more. Let us remember to live as the law, as the principle of our being. We can take possession of our affairs only as we consciously realize that they are the effect of our own consciousness, the image and likeness of our own being, the manifestation or expression of our personal divine self. Then alone can we truly be a law unto them. Goldsmith asks us to begin our day with the inner reminder of your true identity. Identify yourself as spirit, as principle, as the law of life unto your own affairs. It's a very necessary thing to remember that we have no needs. We are infinite, individual, and spiritual consciousness, embodying within ourselves the infinity of good. And therefore, we are that center, that point of God consciousness, which can do what Jesus did, not by using our bank account, but by using the infinity of good pouring through us the same as it poured through Jesus. Then go out into life as the presence of God. There is a belief of separation between us and God, our good, and this we correct by realizing, as Jesus said, I and my Father are one. All that the Father has is mine. The place whereon I stand is holy ground. These are not quotation, but statements of fact, and that brings us to the point of demarcation between knowing the truth and taking no thought. We are realizing truth now as an established truth within our own consciousness, the truth of our being. We are not taking thought to make any good come to us, but we are realizing the truth, knowing the truth of our identity, of our oneness with the infinite, with our infinite capabilities. Unless we now consciously and daily remind ourselves of the true nature of our being, we will come under, once again, the general belief that we are something separate and apart from God. You must realize yourself to be life, truth, and love. You must accept Jesus' revelation of the I am until it becomes a revelation for you. Goldsmith asks us to stop trying to apply truth. He writes, "Truth is infinite, therefore there is nothing to which you can apply truth. It's the reality of being, and there is nothing inside or outside for truth to act upon. Truth is self-acting and self-operative. It's constantly at work. As an emanation of consciousness, it is consciousness itself, individually appearing and expressing its own being, nature, and character. It's our consciousness alone that's responsible for our life. As we learn to let go and let God, higher consciousness, it then can assume its higher responsibility and bring us our own highest good." Many people want to know what they are to be doing in this life. As we learn to listen to that still small voice within, we will be led to where our work and recognition and compensation are to be found. Once again, take more time for meditation, to sit in the quiet, and to listen to Spirit. We exist as individual consciousness. Therefore, all that is necessary to our fulfillment is included in the infinite consciousness which we are. In an individual way, God is expressing itself as you, and your ability is really the ability of God. Your activity is actually the activity of God consciousness or life, and therefore the responsibility for you is God's responsibility. Once you understand this consciousness of God's presence, and you have the whole secret of success in every area of your life. Always remember that God, your individual consciousness, has prepared for you all that is necessary for the fulfillment of your individual experience. You are never outside the harmony of God's being. All we are asked to do is to develop the awareness of the presence of God within us, as us, in every moment. It's our conscious union with God which enables us to live without taking thought and makes possible a life of complete abundance, and that is by grace. Our purpose in life is the unfolding of the Spirit within. From the height of spiritual vision, we do not look upon each other as man or woman, or rich or poor. All human values are submerged in our common interests to seek and find the kingdom within. There is no envy or jealousy of each other in their spiritual attainments. So let us once again catch the vision that whatever anyone possesses, even what appears as material good, is but the expression of his or her state of consciousness. The first step in living by grace, living by universal peace, must begin with the understanding that all everyone has is of God. That is, all that anyone possesses and all that anyone can ever own is the outpouring of his own infinite consciousness. If we could all understand this, then mankind could live together in one world harmoniously, joyfully, successfully, without fear of one another and without greed or envy. We could recognize that life is the gift of God as a free flow of our own consciousness. It would forever solve the problem of supply and thereby establish the reign of peace on earth. So when I invite you to live today as the outpouring of God consciousness onto this world, take no thought about anything. Just enjoy a world you are in, Allow your God consciousness to move before you, bringing you all of your good. So I leave you today once again with a statement by John Randolph Price. My consciousness of God as my supply is my supply. So take no thought of who and what and how today. Be in the presence of God throughout your day today. Be one with God. Take no thought of anything. And allow God's consciousness to become your consciousness. Have a beautiful day, everyone.